Do you think we're capable of like being taught the skills on a wide scale of being able to differentiate what's fake news, what's spurious and false reporting, and what isn't? Because I feel like fake news isn't like a new thing. No. It's as old as news itself. Like people have a political aim, are going to put dodgy stuff out there if it's going to benefit their cause. But like now it's like there's the added financial objective as well. When everything that happened with Facebook and that what was that little group? Was it Macedonia or something?
Oh yeah.
That put all those crazy articles out. I think the massive one was the Pope endorsed Trump in his presidential election campaign.
And we use that in the school example, actually.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. It's a really good one.
Yeah. I mean, it's meant, but they made so much money just because these articles went viral. So now that it's not just the political objective, there's it's financially a good thing, and obviously there's Facebook and all the social media channels can do their bit, but like that's a lot of reason to put out false news now. And I'm not sure whether if there's some like I don't think there can be a sort of governmental body that can come in and be like the defining fact checking. Because then people are going to be like, oh, it's the government. Oh, I can't trust them.
It's
either.
a centralized body. Oh my God. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I don't really know what the long term solution is there. It's difficult.
I was going to answer your question in one way, and then when you got to the latter example, I was then going to go the other way. So the first bit in terms of should we be worried about how this is going about, I think yes, because when we look at AI and you see all these computer programs where you get a president, I don't know if you've seen it, and then they map your face. And as you start talking, it makes it look like...
So not only can you replicate a voice, it's an actual moving image. It's
right.
Like, whoa.
When you compare it to growing up, all the UFO photos of just really terrible, cut out.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
But we've come on a long way.
But now it's going to become more difficult. So I think in that way...
apparently you look at the eyes, that's the giveaway, and blinking especially.
Right. But
that's the only way.
But that will get fixed. That's what I mean. It's only a matter of time. But on the other side, when you talk about the financial motivation for posting articles that just get shared and clicked on, I have hope with that. And for me, it's because it's how the monetization of content is going to change. Because already we're seeing around the world now in online companies, ad spend is going down. And it's actually because of saturation. There are so many articles these days that the amount of, it's called inventory, which are the slots in which an ad will sit. So if you have an advert before your video on YouTube, the inventory slot is basically the slot in which I want to put my advert there, just to get all technical. But so the cost of adverts are going down. But it's also the fact that clickbait, I think those days are numbered, because when you look at I think that one of the biggest websites in the world is the Daily Mail, because they do so much clickbait. And actually when you look at their articles and you scroll down, their articles are so long and they actually end up saying the same thing again and again, because as you scroll down you're seeing more and more adverts and more impressions and that. But it's not exclusive to them. Everyone's doing it. But what's happening is because it's harder and harder to make money through ads now, and because people are using stuff like ad blocker, which is a problem, but it's not the entire problem. People are now having to switch to subscription models. So The Guardian is doing a membership that you can sign up for. I think every other article says, hey, now we've got your attention, can you... I find really depressing, because I'm like, it's just every other article. But then I think, when we look at who we subscribe to, and obviously this podcast has been done through grassroots subscriptions, so please, patreon.com/Myles Dyer, help us out. $1 a month would help. But people can only have so much money, and there's only so many services they can subscribe to. So is it Amazon Prime, or is it Spotify for music, or is it Netflix for video? Is it Amazon Prime has music, video, and I think they have music now as well. So you've got to make all these choices. And so when it comes down to who are you going to subscribe to, it's going to be with brands you have an affinity with, that you believe in. And so The Guardian, people might subscribe because they believe that they do really great journalism. I became a fan of them because of the Edward Snowden coverage they did about the NSA. There are things since then that I've not been a fan of, but that's the way it goes. You know, with they're big organisations, they'll do different kinds of reporting. When you look at a news organisation like the Daily Mail, which has been mainly funded via whether it's sponsorship or clickbait, all that traffic, if you then went to all those people that are driving that revenue and for all the clicks and that, what percentage of them do you think have an affinity with the brand of the Daily Mail? And if you went to and said, do you want to subscribe for us on a monthly basis to support our paper?
No.
I don't think. And so I think that switch is going to pull the rug under a lot of the clickbait, because clickbait is no longer going to be something people actually value.
Yeah.
It's something they'll do on a lunch break or that.
That's really interesting. Immediately I'm making the comparison between basically what I would call clickbait music. So
Right.
like very banal pop music, basically. Bubblegum is the usual phrase people use, which is...
Sorry, but what's bubblegum?
Bubblegum music, just,
Oh, I see, yeah.
just like... I don't even know.
Just easy, lit, like ear candy, like just...
very middle of the road. Like Tom York described it as fridge buzz, just noise, just... there's no dynamics to
Right.
it. It's just, switch a mainstream radio channel on the middle of the day, and that's what it is. But yeah, that stuff, they don't have any support because there's no... I don't want to use the word brand here, obviously, because it doesn't really fit in terms of artistry. But it's similar in the fact that people aren't invested into these artists because the people that listen to that type of pop music will just listen to that type of pop music, and all of the the lifespan of someone in that realm of music is very short, because people are always looking for the next thing. Whereas, like say, when you have the Guardian or whatever it is, a brand that people sort of like believe in, which I would then make the comparison to artists who have grown up, built a fan base, they built a community around their music.
Yes.
Their music is, people are emotionally invested in it, and usually rightfully so, and like amazingly so. But this definitely feels like a metaphor for music in that respect as well. I can see things hopefully going the same way. The clickbait music taking a bit of a hit as people just prefer more trusted sources of information or music.